Yeah. Thank you, everyone. You're most welcome for today's meeting. Yeah, we're going to start the meeting with the order of fellowship. The Rotary Press will be said by the Sumbua Zabib, the treasurer. The loyal toast will be said by Edema Mizani, the RCC member. The forward text will be said by Zamida, Director Rotary Foundation. The final toast will be said by me. The object of Rotary will be said by the team leader, RCC, that's Innocent. Thank you so much. I think we are standing up for the order of fellowship.
We are privileged for this meeting. I'm going to say the Rotary grace for what we have received and what we are about to receive. May we be truly thankful and ever mindful of the needs of the less privileged.
Amen.
This is Adama Mzamil reading the royal toast to His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda.
To His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Uganda.
Next, we have Zamida, who is taking us with the forward test.
Thank you. It's me, Zamida, saying the forward test. First, of the things we think, say, or do. First, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendship? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you. Next, we have object of Rotary to be said by the team leader.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as the basis of worth enterprise, and in particular to encourage and foster first the development of acquaintance as an opportunity to service. Second, high ethical standards in business and professions, the recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupation as an opportunity to serve society. Third, the application to the ideal of service in each Rotarian's personal, business, and community life. Fourth, the development of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional persons united in the ideal of service. Thank you.
Thank you so much, everyone. May we take our seats. Thank you all the Rotarians online and Rotarians in the house. I welcome you for today's meeting. This week, actually, we didn't have an activity, but we are going to start with the issue of Ramanda. Ramanda, we are still studying the soil of Ramanda. In order to start with sanitation and hygiene, the soil of Ramanda is such a soil which sinks. So for the issue of that, we feel we shall first start with the distribution of the soil filters, project of filters. We shall train the women. We train 28 women, water women. After training the 28 water women on how to assemble the filters, how to fix the filters, and also how to wash the filters. We are planning to train them, that will be on Monday. That's in our suggestion, that we train the women on how to use the water filter, how they can use the water filters, how to fix them in the buckets. Then we shall also need to buy 28 buckets for the women of Ramanda, just like what we did to Achiba. Because like if we tell them, let them buy their buckets, that will also be injustice. We don't want to be just injustice. We do the same thing we do for Achiba, also for Ramanda. That's what we are planning to do. For the issue of, we would have started with sanitation, hygiene, we would have started with, but the issue is the soil, constructing the latrines, building the house, then connecting the pipe to the pit is a bit hard, since the soil also sinks. We are still studying the soil of Ramanda. We are still planning what to do. When Chris comes to Uganda, I think we shall have a meeting. We shall sit and discuss what best we can do to the community of Ramanda, so as they can have a decent latrine which cannot sink. So that was what we are up to. Then like today, Christine is not with us. Christine has been taken out, has been taken away by some activities, but hopefully Monday should be around. I'll communicate to her that we need to go to Ramanda and train the women of Ramanda. I'll call the LC to mobilize the women on Monday. Then first thing in the morning, we shall go to Ramanda, train the women using the remaining 2 buckets we have here on how to assemble the filters, just as I said, and how to do the rest. After we train the women, the 28 women we shall train will also now train the rest of the women. So we feel the 28 women should not be in one place. We must get women from all north, south, all the parts of Ramanda. We pick one to make it 28. So that nobody should complain that we only pick selected people, selected women to train. We don't want to hear that complaint. And we feel the 28 women, the ones who will be trained, will also share buckets. One bucket of 4 households. Training one bucket of 4 households, and once around, because of course at the end of the bucket to the neighbor. So that when you're not there, to drink water. Like we shall also tell them, after training them, each household, a woman has to pour water in the bucket. Then when the bucket is fully filled, you have to carry your jerrycan. You fill it in the jerrycan. Once the jerrycan is also clean, after that, the other one also carries water, pours in the bucket, and also carries it. Once it's finished, we'll also come for another one. So that's what we are going to tell them to do. And we shall also tell them, like once the bucket is empty, not only the person whose bucket stays in his house, her house should wash it. It should be the responsibility of all the 4 households to do so. That's concerning the issue of the water filters. And again, we feel that we also feel that the next village also has to benefit. That is the suggestion. We feel that second village benefits from the soil filters, and either any Rotarian village should also benefit from the water filters. That is a suggestion from me. I don't know how the rest will have to see to it. Things we also learned a lesson from Achiba, and we needed to do a thorough sensitization to the community members of Ramanda. The lesson we learned is right enough for us to do a thorough sensitization to the community members of Ramanda before we will do what? Before giving out the buckets and the filters to the 28 women in Ramanda. That is, to me, that was a suggestion from me. I don't know how the rest of the Rotarians online and the rest of the Rotarians in the house will see to that. So if it's okay with us and the Rotarians on online, it's most welcome. Like we don't want the soil filters to stay in the house. We feel that they must also do what? They must also protect the neighbors the neighboring village, either a Rotarian village. So that is a suggestion, and it's an open discussion to the rest of the Rotarians online and the Rotarians in the house. Thank you so much. That was from me. And any other person who has an update is most welcome. Innocent, I think you can add for us something.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, all the Rotarians online and the Rotarians present in the meeting for today. As the president has already elaborated more about Ramadan, how we can start the project of Ramadan, I think that is a way to go, because the nature of the soil, as I've seen, requires for us to sit together with the Rotarians online, and we see which type of latrine can best fit for Ramadan. So that we can think of a better latrine that can last longer for the communities of Ramadan. And as she has just concluded because we didn't want these filters to stay in the office, since their communities outside there are suffering with waterborne diseases, we actually decided that if we can select another villages, or maybe about even 3 to 4 villages benefit from soya filters, because we had received 200 filters. So if you divide 200 by, I think by 28, we shall be getting about 6 or 5 villages to benefit from these filters. So I think that is, thrown to the Rotarians to see, can we select the next villages neighboring Achieva, or we can decide to select the Rotarians villages who can benefit from 28 filters. I think that one is thrown to the members. So please, members, let us react and see immediately, because it cannot take us long to train and distribute these filters in Ramadan. And then from there, we can go to another village and finish distributing the 200 filters to the communities. Thank you so much. And I think that will be through the president. We have one of the group leader from Arigwi Women Group, and he needed to actually thank TCP Global, and maybe has also something to say. Through you, President, you can request her to come up.
Thank you so much. I think she's most welcome.
Hi, everyone on the line and the Rotarians in the room. I'm Nait Zamida, the chairperson of Rigui Valley Women Group.
Hello, good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. The chairperson of Rigui Valley Women Group. Actually, this is the first group who were picked amongst all the groups who are now benefiting from this TCP Global Fund. With all this, the members, the women group members of Rigui Valley Women Groups are very, very thankful and very grateful for this opportunity you have brought to Uganda. Now, when this issue of Ramadan came, they said at least they have to raise a little bit so that those people from Ramadan can benefit out of their interest. So they are going to give 50,000 Ugandan shillings for buying those tip taps for Ramanda people. Thank you.
That is excellent news. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Hi, Helen.
Good afternoon. Hello, Madam President.
Good morning, Helen.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, following up on what she said, I think we'd like to encourage more of that. You know, Chris and I are not getting any older. We won't, 15 years from now, Lord knows what we'll be able to do. And we're trying to, we would hope that the program in Yumbe can be sustainable. And when things like this happen, when a group like Arigui Women's Group decides to put in some of their money to help support new programs, that's what we're trying to encourage more of, so that someday you don't need to rely on us, because someday we won't be here. So we want your programs to be sustainable, and there's so many ways that it appears that they can be, which is why it's a little concerning, this concept that we have to treat everyone the way that we did at Chiba. We learned a lot in Chiba. We learned that there were opportunities to have the community have ownership and to make it sustainable. And I think that I would hope that another way that we could look at this is, what can we learn each step along the way, so that we can make this program sustainable, so that you don't need to rely on outside resources, because outside resources are not usually reliable. Chris and I happen to love Yumbe, so we're going to be there as long as we can.
Yeah. Thank you so much. We love you people too. And I think that is, and I think that Aragui is going to be an exemplary. I think the rest of the group members have to follow that example, so that we can at least maintain sustainability once you and Chris will not be around. So once you and Chris will not be around, we feel that the project must not stop there and must continue.
Yeah, and I love the idea of using those filters rather than having them sit in the office. And either way you decide, if it's with Rotarians or with villages that are near Chiba and Ramadan, that sounds really good. But I'd also ask you to consider if these could be turned into businesses, whereby somebody can pay back for that filter they have and maybe charge for their service, because there's work involved in maintaining that program. And then they can pay back so that you can buy filters for other villages, and that would make it sustainable. Especially since those villages and Rotarians aren't expecting the water filters at this time. This is something we're offering you, but we would like you to help pay it forward. Just something to consider. I know that makes it more complicated.
Yeah.
And I'd like to thank the Aragui Women's Group for their initiative. Thank you so much. Awadi po ambogo.
4 million. Thanks for thanking them.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Indeed, I'm really impressed to hear from Arigui Women Group to come up with that initiative. And of course, that will also give us also a strength that in future, because I've been coordinating this program of TCP Global with you, Chris and Helen. Once I will not be there. And then if these women continue coming up and support their communities through their interest, and then it will be really a pleasure for me and to also support other communities. Because if you take 34 sites are able to donate like what Arigui did, that means there will be a lot of money every month to continue the projects of similar to Ramadan and continue even creating more sites. I think that is a very good initiative. I really appreciate Arigwi group members to have come up with that idea. I think the rest can also emulate that, so that by next month, I need to see about 2 to 3 also come and confess in the meeting to also donate to help us continue the project of Ramadan. Thank you so much, Arigwi.
Yeah, and following on what Innocent just said, he's managing, SADOC is managing 34 sites. That's a lot of time and employee time devoted to getting the information and transferring the forms. I'm worried that if we get up to 50 sites, it's just going to be too much for one person to handle. And as we take on new sites, I think it would be helpful if each site, maybe after they get their second allocation, would start to pay the equivalent of $10 a month. That's like 36,000 Uganda shillings, I think, for the administrative role that SADOC provides. And then they could perhaps hire another employee so that they could handle more sites. Because at some point, Innocent's going to throw up his hands and say, that's too many, I can't handle all of those. But if there's a new employee to help handle that, it makes the program more sustainable. And even though I sort of resist all of the requests from Rotary to add more Rotarians, I'm also wondering if you wouldn't want to include other VSLAs in the Rotary group, and maybe have one representative from each VSLA in the Rotary group to help you with all of these programs that you're doing. I'm not sure that's a good idea. It's just something to think about. Okay, I've talked too much. I'm done.
It's okay. You have not talked too much. I think we have understood you so well. And it is really true that, one person to run 34 sites might even cross on the way. I think the idea you have come up by maybe supporting, maybe we can recruit some, maybe either or 2 members to coordinate this program. And then together we work, maybe 3 of us, and every month this, maybe they can contribute some, maybe like 10%, as you have said, to facilitate this program. I think that will be really great. And of course, I don't know when this should be effected, but otherwise it would be easy for me to get some people, even maybe within the Rotarians or maybe outside, to support me to run this program. Thank you so much for coming up with that idea. Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm called Damam Zamil, one of the RCC members. I really appreciate TCP Global and P2P on what they are doing to change the lives of the people of Yumbe when it comes to livelihood and the water sanitation and hygiene. Particularly, I would like to react on what the team leader of RCC said about the water filters, that if it could be agreed, then some of the water filters be given to the other villages apart from Achiba and Ramada. Me, I would say, what I first wanted to know is, like Achiba. Now, what what is the difference now between the baseline and the end line about Achiba when it comes to like the issue of diarrhea that is majorly caused by waterborne disease. Me on that, I could say if the difference is not much, it could be better to increase the number of water filters in Achiba than start giving to the other villages, especially if 4 households were using one water filter. If there are excess water filters, I would suggest that they can start also maybe giving one water filter to 2 households in order to reduce the conflict, which one time I heard was arising in Achiba. Then start giving to another village. Why I'm saying this one is simply because when I look into this project, it is targeting malaria. The target is to eliminate malaria, waterborne diseases, and also this micro loan. So all these are now happening in Achiba, and they're also going to happen in Ramanda. So all these are interconnected. I think to me, it cannot be good when you only go and give filter in another village. I think the impact to me will not be great. So what is targeted in this project is the impact. I will request or advise that let the number of filters be increased in these villages of Achiba and Ramanda before another village is brought on board. So that is my suggestion on the issue of giving the filters to another village apart from Achiba and Ramanda. Thank you.
Yeah, according to the statistics the Rotary Club put out, they cut the instances of waterborne diseases by more than half in Achiba. And that sharing the water filters with 4 villages, we're just following the guidelines of the Sawyer water filter people who have put their filters all over the world. And that's what they find is the recommended allocation. So that's why we did 4. And, you know, once again, Achiba's been helped. Maybe now Achiba can make the program sustainable and you can implement yourself any additional improvements that you'd like to make while the Rotary Club moves on to other villages. That would be my recommendation.
Yeah. I think, Helen, I also concur with you because when you look at this filter is real different from the other local filter here in Uganda, manufactured here in Uganda, where they use pots. With that one, it normally takes long for it to filter. But when you look at this soya filter, the water comes very fast, which can support 4 households. And also another thing I'm saying is, apart from Achiba and even now the next to Ramada, other villages, if you reach to their villages, you'll see how they are suffering from the area. They are suffering from so many waterborne diseases. So my suggestion would also be, let the rest of the villages test. If we even acquire 1,000 plus, we need to distribute. We need to use what they have come up one filter can serve at least 4 households, so that this program spreads in the whole of what? In the whole of Yumbe district, because we have over 1,060 villages outside there, still suffering from waterborne diseases out there. So I think we would just move ahead. Let the Achiever community sustain the program, because they have so many programs actually they have benefited from. So let us also help others who are suffering there out there. So that is also my suggestion. Let us also hear from the president or one of or treasurer.
Thank you very much. I'm called Isumbua Zabib, the club treasurer. The version I'm looking at is, since the other village has now benefited, let others also benefit. Now next from Ramada, we could pick one village, then looking at ourselves here as Rotarians. You know, we come from different villages and from different groups. I also had it in mind that if one of our villages could benefit, it was going to be okay. Because the normal say, charity begins at home. If we are just left like that, and our villages are there, the same thing which are facing those villages are also facing our villages there. We also need to have that share. I don't know how others can look at this. This is my suggestion.
Thank you so much, everyone, for suggesting what everyone has to benefit from. I truly concur with everyone by saying that Achiever has already benefited. Achiever was the first person to benefit. Then we also feel that we must not be selfish. We must also give the soil filters to the neighboring villages also to benefit from. So a little by little, and I think bit by bit can also make a bundle. Since Achiever has that, Achiever, if we also needs more of the soil filters, they'll also have to buy it. And very soon, what is remaining for Achiever is only the micro loan for the project to get finished. And the issue of the micro loans, like when we visited Achiever, at least also like the elders were also talking. The elders were saying that they are not happy, they are jealous of the women because most of the project is benefiting the women. Why not them? That's what the men were saying. Why are they not benefiting from that? Soil filters to the women, microloan to the women. They only benefit from the malaria eradication. We told them most of the things women benefit from because the women are the ones taking care of the home. Women take care of the family, they prepare food to the family. That's why most of the women are considered. And despite that, if the woman has something, then the woman can cost share. So we also feel that at least when we take other villages, that will be okay. And also they'll also be happy. Like if we also give 28 water filters to the Ramanda, then also we take a village nearby Ramanda, and also next can also be the Rotarian villages. I think that will be fair and we shall be just to the rest of the communities. That is the way I see to it. Thank you.
Madam President, may I say a tiny bit? To give you a little bit of information. To put the soil filter and the bucket in each one in a community, P2P spends around 111,000 Ugandan shillings. So the filters are not cheap. Uh, they should, if with you back flushing and cleaning the filters, we know that they can last 14 years. So that is so good. We know from the surveys of Achiba that the incidence of diarrheal diseases has been reduced 90%. So that was reduced from 50% of the children with diarrhea in the last 2 weeks to 5%. We would like to do better, but if we put another 28 filters in Achiba, we are not going to still be able to get a 90% benefit. Whereas if we put them in other places, yes, they can have close to 90% just based on the filters. So we know there are 750,000 people in Yumbe district, and we are dreaming like you are, how to help so many people, and we do not know. Some of the possibilities for more filters are put more in Achiba and get a tiny bit of benefit from twice as many filters. Put filters in more villages, and another possibility is make sure that all Rotarians have filters and serve 3 or 4 families around them with their good filters, and we slowly learn and slowly improve and try to spread the benefit among people who are working so hard together, because we want your families, we want all the families of Yumbe and the families of your villages to benefit from your good efforts. So those are some possibilities, more for Achiba, more for surrounding villages, more for the Rotarians. And we are interested to hear your decisions on what to do. Thank you.
You're most welcome. I think somebody wants to say something. The RCC member.
Thank you so much. I'm just trying to clarify the request made by one of the Rotarians. I think the treasury of the Rotary Club. She was trying to emphasize that support being extended to the Rotary villages. And in the last week's meeting, you made it clear that you have already suggested 3 Rotary villages. That is Machangana, Nrundwa, Tije, of the Rotarians of Nafsi, Zuleika, and Jamila. So I'm trying to emphasize more that Rotary villages are already being put into consideration. So they have started with the 3, but when to start, I think is in the pipeline. Thank you.
Yeah, and just for your information, we don't know if this will happen, but Innocent and I are working together on a request to Coca-Cola that would provide 1,200 water filters for every member of every VSLA group, not just the Rotarians, plus for some of the new VSLA groups. So that is something that is in the works. We don't know if it'll happen, but we hope to get this application out within the next week or so. So we hear you.
Okay.
We're trying.
Yeah, we pray for the best.
Yes.
I think, thank you. Inshallah, the Almighty is great. Yeah, there's also another update I forgot to let the members know about. We received a November magazine.
Oh, good.
November actually, it's for October magazine. Ours is still not out yet. We don't know whether ours will be next year or the end of this month. We don't know. I picked from the post office this morning. Yeah. Then ours will be, I think, next month or next year. We don't know. We pray for the best. Either within this month, it has to be there. I think the issue concerning the water filters has already been discussed. But what we shall be doing after visiting the villages, then we shall only be carrying the training. We have not even trained the most of the Rotarians, and I think they have not yet come all. We feel that each and everyone who has the soil filter has to carry the soil filter along. You have to buy your bucket. Once you get the bucket, you also come for the training. That we train how to assemble, how to wash. That is the information I would like to pass, so that when we shall take another village, we can be in position, any Rotarian can be assigned to carry that duty of going to train the community, the communities we are going to take, we are going to give the soil filters to. That is what I can air this time. And another reaction from the Rotarians who are online, I see Gloria was on. The Rotarians in the house is most welcomed.
Hello, President Rokia and members. I'm online, yes, listening to the discussions. My grandchildren are around, so it's very noisy in the house.
Okay, that's the way to go with kids.
I've sent them to go and play outside. That's why I've been silent.
The one yeah, grandma.
Yes.
Yeah, let's welcome.
Your discussions are good. I think it's best for the members to agree on how best to move forward with issues that are arising. And the way you are discussing is the best way to deal with it. I think it should be fair to all concerned, and according to the Rotary 4-way test. So I hope that others can be considered in benefiting with the available water. And then, of course, as we move on, you could find ways of how to improve impact and also coverage. As Chris says, it's not good just to concentrate in one area, and yet you are looking at having an impact over a bigger enough community. So I think going to other villages or communities is good.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the reactions. I think that's what we shall be doing.
Can we hear from Father Moses?
Moses, are you there?
Oh. I'd like to throw out one other thing to consider, and that is when people, we want people to take really good care of those filters so that they will continue to be serviceable. And if it's a business for them and they know that they are the ones who will have to repair it, replace it when it no longer becomes useful, they'll probably have more incentive to take really good care of the filters, because they should last for 14 years. But if they're not well cared for, they might last for 2. And then what was the expectation that we're going to provide a new water filter? We want to avoid that. We want to keep those water filters operational as long as possible. So again, the idea of setting it up as a business with the person who has the filter responsible for replacing it would solve that problem.
I think the community are taking good care of the filters. When we visited them, they can now wash the filters after a week. They are doing a great job with the filters, and the filters are ever clean. Yeah, they're taking good care of them.
Excellent.
Yeah. Any other Rotarian with any other reaction or suggestion is most welcome.
So, yeah, I just needed, I think we needed to come up with our action points, especially the Rotarian villages that has been already mentioned, that is Machangana and then TJ and what? And Ndundra. I think these three villages immediately after Ramadan, through the president, I think we need to now start these three villages and train the women immediately. I think you are starting training on Monday, right? That is Ramadan. And then when are you giving out the filters for Ramadan? That will be when? Within that week, right?
When we get the buckets.
Yeah, the buckets are just ready, even they are ready. So anytime, maybe on Monday, because still P2P has the money there, we can squeeze some small money from P2P, and then we buy these buckets, because each bucket is 10,000 Ugandan shillings. So we can buy them and we give them out immediately within that week, and then the next week we can start with the next Rotarian village, maybe Machangana here, or but I was told Tinje is very far, about 35 kilometers. Yes, Tinje. Yes. Not Kochi. Is it which market is that at the borderline? Kerwa. And TJ is there. Yeah. So that means, yeah, that is her village. Nafis's village is very far. So I think we need to organize and come up with, I think, a timeline, so that maybe as Christmas is also nearing, maybe finish some or some pages and give them out to these filters. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone. I think Amanda, the Tinje village, because Tinje seems it's a bit far. The rest which are near will be handled within here. That's how I've suggested it. Before we break for Christmas, I think we shall have to do with Tinje. And after Tinje, the others can also either before Christmas or after Christmas. That will now be what we shall take. Thank you. Somebody wants to say.
Thank you very much. Still, this is Adam Zamil, one of the RCC members. Mine is just a question still on filters, water filters. Indeed, the water filters are so good, according to what we are hearing from the Achiba people. And I'm sure in the future, many people would like to use the water filters. But it's my first time to see them. I don't know whether in Uganda we still have, we have them. And if at all they are not there, and the people would like to use or buy. Now, as like sustainability for this one, is there a possibility where this is what soya filters will be brought in Uganda and maybe sold to people at maybe reduced price or maybe at any at any price? That is what I wanted to know from P2P. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, the soya filters are produced by a company in America. And I do not know how many countries abroad they have set up places to sell them. If a normal person in America tries to buy the filters that we provide for the communities in Yumbe, if a normal person in America tries to buy them, they cost over 2 times what it costs me to buy them and carry them to Uganda or send them to Uganda. So the cost of a soya filter in America is probably around 300,000 Ugandan shillings. So I don't know how good a solution it is to, but I do not know if the company or what company will ever think about setting up distributions of these filters in Uganda. So I cannot say. When I come to Uganda in January, I am wondering whether I need to buy a big duffel bag and fill it with soya filters so we have more, and I do not know how many I can fit in a checked luggage, but selling them in Uganda gets both it's the company's decision, and if they sell them like they do in America, I would expect them to be very, very expensive. I do not know why they sell to me for so much less, other than I'm trying to help my brothers and sisters.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. And for me, I also have another idea. If you can also support that idea. You know, we have already received, I think, about 260 filters here in Yumbe, so far in Yumbe. But is there a way, because we are planning sustainability, is there a way, because this water is so far clean, 99.9% pure, is there a way we can have a small machine that can produce bottles, and then we filter and then we bottle it and we sell it? All these VSLs would be doing this business, because water business is really touchy. It moves so well. We could even move to those soaps. Yes, those soaps they can buy every day. But our challenge is now a small machine that can maybe bottles, then seal it and something like that, because we have already our pure water. Yes, that. Yeah, so if that could also be looked into, and then I think near future would be getting money since the filters are already here in Yumbe.
Yes, one of the
Any other
Rotarians, one of your Rotarians, well, I don't know if she's a Rotarian. One of the members of TCP Global, as you know,
Yes.
is your big plastics lady. So she has
Yes.
sells buckets, she has connections with the manufacturers and distributors in Uganda. I would suggest talking to her. She is
Yes.
expert in plastics in Uganda, not I.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay.
And maybe people could bring their own container to get the water so that you don't have all these accumulated plastic containers floating around.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you so much. I thank everyone, since it's already time. I would like to thank all the Rotarians online, Rotarians in the house, for the wonderful presentations and for coming to the meeting. So I thank everyone, and I wish everyone a nice day today and a nice evening and good morning to the US-based Rotarians. So with a few words, I think we're going to stand up for the final toast. The final toast is said by me. Yeah, with the amazing people I've met today, with the amazing words they've aired out, I would like to take this time by saying the final toast. Here it goes. I give you Rotary International. Rotary World
Rotary
Over.
International.
Thank
Hawaii
you.
Forum Bogo.
Our default minute in the yeah. Bye everyone.
Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, our friend Gloria.
Yeah.
Sorry we did not get to see your grandchildren.
Oh, I sent them outside. They were very loud, so I had to send them outside.
Good
Nice to see
you.
everyone. See you next week.
Okay.
See,
So President Rukia, President Rukia,
yes, please.
I understand that we will not proceed with latrines because we do not have a solution that will work. The problem is that for a poor flush latrine, which they would like in Ramadan, I do not know anyone who is making a poor flush trap in Uganda. If Gloria hears of someone who makes the poor flush trap like we have built into our toilets for a squat latrine, we can think about that. But I sent you some more options. Maybe they say that a round pit is safer than or is stronger than a rectangular pit. They say that we could line the pit with ferro cement. So that just means with wire and cement, and that it becomes very strong and can hold up the base plate for the cover plate in the sandy soil. But since we do not have a solution, all I know to do is experiment with one family and see if anyone in Ramadan has a solution that works. I do not, it is hard for me to figure out a solution from America. So the people there have to come up with the solution.
Are compost toilets at all feasible there?
They are totally feasible. They are much more expensive. They require bigger cabins. They require raised chambers. They require many more bricks and the same roofs and the same ventilation pipes. So it is easy, well, relatively easy to explain how to build them, but relatively, I think almost twice the amount of money per family to build them. So that's all I needed to say. Thank you so much, President Rukia.
Thank you, Chris. I think concerning the issue of the latrines in Ramanda, we need to get some fellas in Ramanda to identify whether it needs 2 PVCs, which one can connect from the hole to the pit. Then the other one has to be up, if that one works better.
Yes,
That's
well,
now what we shall get.
For a poor flush, we no longer need the ventilation pipe, or we don't need as tall a ventilation pipe, because the ventilation pipe would come right out of the removed pit. So we would not need more PVC, but the problem is preventing the odor from coming back into the latrine. And that, I can think of solutions, but I do not know that they will work. And I do not think it is good to experiment with communities. I would prefer to have a proven solution.
Okay.
So go ahead
think
with the filters in Ramadan and then we can go ahead with malaria, and they need to collect some fees to keep the malaria program running. But and we will bring the trainer on hand borehole making to Yumbe in February, I believe. My friend who is responsible for working with our partners in Malawi is in Paris right now. So he is too busy, or maybe he is having too much fun to write to me right now. Paris is very fun.
Okay.
Okay.
Paris is a beautiful city.
Yes.
One of my daughters there, right there, she's having so much fun.
She is so lucky. Well,
Yeah.
Thank you, President Rukia. Do you have any questions about this, or it is all clear enough?
No, it's just clear enough.
Good.
Yeah.
Awadi fo ambogo.
Before Gloria Nyindi.
Okay, I will cut the connection. Thank you.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.